welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is going on. Again, bear with me with the setup. We are back to the normal studio on Wednesday, so I apologize about the sound today, but we're dealing with the best we can. I hope it's okay. If there are any problems, then please let me know in the chat. Thank you very much for tuning back in for these live streams. We do these every single day at around 11-12 a.m. UTC time, talking about the latest cryptocurrency news and just recapping what is going on in the markets. So let's take a look first at the price of Bitcoin on Crypto Saving Expert. We can see here Bitcoin is sat at $22,400. And Ethereum is sat at $1,566. So in the last 24 hours, there hasn't been much movement, but just at the end of last week, we did see a big move to the downside. So let's run through the cryptocurrency news we've seen over the weekend, and then let's analyze the price of Bitcoin. So going into that first news article for today's news, we have 97% of financial leaders believe crypto will enhance payment speeds. And this, while the respondents believe that crypto would enable faster payments, they cited regulatory ambiguity and limited adoption as barriers to the sector. Now, these are obviously huge concerns. We speak about these in every single live stream. What we are looking at in the space at the moment is we are looking to get clarity on regulation within the space. And we are also looking at how we can get adoption from users from Web 2 to Web 3. So let's take a look at this article. The study, titled Transforming the Money Moves, surveyed roughly 300 FPC subscribers, including payment leaders, analysts, directors, and C-level executives. The survey contained 25 questions on blockchain payment use cases, benefits, adoption plans, and barrier to growth. The respondents spanned a cross-section of global sectors, including retail, fintech, banking, and media from 45 countries. And roughly 97% of the survey participants believed that crypto-enabled solutions would speed up slow payment systems within the next 3 years. They affirmed that blockchain technology would transform cross-border payments. Now, this is obviously something we can all agree within the cryptocurrency space. Blockchains allow us to have fast transactions, cross-border, transparent, fast and lower transaction fees as well. So this is all what blockchain technology enables, and we are going to see this be adopted over the coming years. The adoption is increasing slowly, and we are also talking on these live streams about how we can help with adoption. We are going to talk about this later on in today's stream, so let's check out the next news article. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button. As I said, we do usually have a more professional setup than this. I'm just away at the moment, but we'll be back to the studio on Wednesday. So let's take a look at the next article. If you do enjoy these live streams, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. As I said, we do these every single weekday, keeping you up to date with what's going on in the market. Let's take a look here. We have a Tornado Cash early contributor created a new crypto mixer protocol, privacy pools. So for those that don't know, Tornado Cash was a cryptocurrency mixer, and essentially you can send cryptocurrencies to Tornado Cash and it will send that cryptocurrency back out again. But because of the inflow and outflow from this protocol, it makes it really hard to trace where that cryptocurrency came from before it entered the protocol. So it can remove that back trace that you have on the blockchain. Blockchains are transparent, so every time you make a transaction, it can be seen on the blockchain. But if you use a cryptocurrency mixer, it makes that trail really hard to find. So it removes any history, basically. It makes it very hard to see the history of those cryptocurrencies. Now, Tornado Cash had a lot of scrutiny, and we saw the developer actually get charged with some things in the no, it wasn't. It was a European country. I'm not sure where that was. Let's take a look at this article and maybe it will enlighten us. After its sanctions imposed on Tornado Cash, the crypto community thought it was over the era of crypto mixer protocols. But now, an early Tornado Cash contributor has announced new protocols that allow users to remain private while providing proof they are not criminals. So last year, the US authorities imposed sanctions on Tornado Cash. A substantial red flag flew around crypto mixer protocols. The US Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control claims that Tornado Cash had been used to launder $7 billion in digital currency, including $500 million linked to Lazarus, a North Korean-sponsored hacking group, and claims that any service that indiscriminately facilitated anonymous transactions poses a threat to US national security. So you can see by the technology of Tornado Cash and other cryptocurrency mixes how they can be used by bad actors in the space, removing that trace of that cryptocurrency obviously makes it less transparent, and that is a benefit for those that are trying to launder money. So obviously you can see the problems that come with these protocols, but let's take a look at this. Not only was Tornado Cash the application target, but the Tornado Cash team was also targeted. Here we go. Dutch authorities detained the chief developer of the software and ordered him to stay behind bars until April this year. Now this really, really shocked me, because all this guy has actually done is create a piece of code and deploy it onto a decentralized network. Like he's just played around with the different tools you can create on a blockchain and deployed that onto the network, and he's actually been put in prison for this. It's not that he's actually laundered any money or done so. Yes, his protocol has facilitated money launderers, but all he's done is write a piece of code. So that really, really shocked me when that took place, but we'll take a look at further down this anyway. The US Treasury's Office of Foreign Asset Control claims made last year apply to most mixers. A crypto mixer is used to conceal the sender and receiver of cryptocurrency transactions by combining funds from numerous sources. It is no longer obvious who owns what when depositors withdraw their money. And many in the cryptocurrency community, including lawmakers like Rep. Tom Emmer, blasting the Treasury's department's action, which virtually forbade Americans from using the app. At the time, Tom Emmer stated that privacy was normal. And now the developer of Tornado Cash, or a contributor to Tornado Cash, has made Privacy Pools protocol. And this is slightly different, actually. So let's take a look at this. It will support Privacy Pools. Moloch DAO will support Privacy Pools. The first demo of Privacy Pools will be showcased at ETH Denver on 4th of March. According to the presentation, will include restrictions on how much money can move through the service, because the code has not yet been thoroughly checked for flaws. So privacy pools will be developed using a cryptography technique known as zero knowledge proof, where members of privacy pools can show that the cryptocurrency withdrawals are unrelated to deposits made by known criminal wallets, while maintaining the sender and receiver privacy. So users can withdraw without disclosing who they are by publicly establishing who they are not. So this is a new cryptocurrency mixer that is trying to abide by those rules. Obviously, the amount of all of the cryptocurrency mixers prior to Tornado Cash and Tornado Cash created, there was a lot of fear within the space once Tornado Cash got sanctions. Now they're trying to abide by these rules so that we can still have cryptocurrency mixers in the space. And this is a great way to do so. Very interesting project. Let's take a look at the next news article today. But before we do, I'm really fumbling my words today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button. And make sure to tune in. Again, we do these live streams every single weekday, talking about the latest cryptocurrency news. And we have the best crypto saving expert website as well. If you go over to Crypto Saving Expert and check anything out, make sure to press that sign up button and fill in this information, and make sure to tick that button to receive a newsletter every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. We do a recap of the week, so that will be published tomorrow. If you sign up today, you will get access to this week's newsletter as well. So make sure to do that. Let's take a look at the next news article we have here. Coinbase acquires One Rival Digital, an SEC registered investment advisor. So the popular US exchange Coinbase has announced that it has acquired One River Digital Asset Management, a One River Asset Management subsidiary. So, according in a Bloomberg interview, Coinbase's head of institutional products has said, "This is about wanting to bring more institutional capital into the world of crypto. We expect to build, on the other side of this crypto winter, an awesome asset management business." So One River Digital was founded by macro trader Eric Peters as a separate unit from his hedge fund, One River Asset Management. Mr. Peters will continue serving as One River Asset Management's and ORDAM's chief executive officer and investment officer. So it will continue to function as an independent entity under Coinbase, and it will entirely separate from its trading and exchange businesses. So what we're seeing here is Coinbase trying to create adoption within the space. And this follows on nicely to another piece of news we are talking about today with Coinbase. Let me find this one. We've not got them in order today. Here we go. Where was it? Crypto exchange Coinbase kicks off pro-crypto policy campaign in the US. So Coinbase have launched a campaign called Crypto 435. And this is to try and get cryptocurrency users' voices heard when regulating the industry in the US. So they want to create this campaign that will allow cryptocurrency users to talk with regulators to help the regulators understand the best way to regulate the industry. And Coinbase have said their choices will determine how, when, and where you can build, buy, sell, and use crypto. We need to ensure they get it right, which means making your voice heard. We're excited to introduce Crypto 435, a grassroots campaign to advocate for pro-crypto policy. Now's the time to change hearts and minds in all 435 congressional districts across the US. So that is what is making good news within the cryptocurrency space. We don't see much of that recently. There's been a lot of FUD within the industry. The markets have all been moving to the downside, but we have seen Coinbase create this campaign, Crypto 435, that could help us get clarity on regulation within the US for cryptocurrencies and help us get that regulation right as well. As we've been saying on these streams for a while, the cryptocurrency space does need regulating. We spoke about this a lot. Regulating the space is really, really important, but we need to make sure that it doesn't stifle growth of the industry. And Coinbase creating this Crypto 435 campaign is a brilliant way to do so. Let's take a look at the next article we have here. We have Tether refutes Wall Street Journal's report that it used fake documents to open a bank account. So the Tether team has stated the Wall Street Journal's report about stale allegations from long ago is wholly inaccurate and misleading. Bitfinex and Tether have world-class compliance programs and adhere to applicable anti-money laundering, know your customer, and counter-terrorist financial legal requirements. And they explained that Bitfinex and Tether were constantly and voluntarily cooperating with global law enforcement, including the United States Department of Justice, to prevent money laundering, terrorism, and other crimes by bad actors. And the Tether team have added, these unfair attacks will not distract us from continuing with those efforts and offering the most liquid and reliable stablecoin experience, with the market has clearly recognized by us making the leaders in the industry. So USDT have a huge amount of market share in terms of stablecoins within the cryptocurrency space. We have seen allegations towards the company since they began. We've seen them have allegations towards their backing. But we've seen them become more and more transparent with their backing, and now we're seeing the Wall Street Journal accuse them of using fake documents to open bank accounts, but we're seeing them try and be as transparent as possible. Let's take a look at the next article we have here to see what is going on. I've just missed out a couple because I skipped forwards for this. Let's check which ones we've missed. We have Bitcoin tumbles 5%, and this is where the flagship cryptocurrency could be headed next. Let's talk about that at the end of today's stream when we take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Let's first take a look at this one. The US SEC and CFTC sue former FTX executive after pleading guilty due to Department of Justice fraud charges. So the United States SEC and the CFTC have separately filed civil lawsuits against former FTX lead engineer for fraud in connection with the collapse of the $32 billion valued cryptocurrency exchange. And the complaints came after he pleaded guilty in the U.S. Department of District Court of Manhattan for one count of wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud on FTX customers, and conspiracy to commit commodities fraud in a motion filed by the U.S. Department of Justice. Now, obviously, he pleaded guilty to this, so obviously we were seeing similar charges. We've also seen Caroline Ellison and the former CEO of the FTX trading house Alameda Research, Gary Wang, co-founder of FTX, pleaded guilty to similar charges. So this guy, Singh, actually created a code to steal customer funds, and he consent to permanent ban on crypto registrations as well. So that is what we're seeing over there. As expected, we did see him plead guilty for this a couple of weeks ago. Let's take a look at the next article now and see what is going on. We have spoke about these ones. We've got them all in the wrong order today. So CZ has dismissed WeChat rumors that he had an incident with the FBI. And we can see on Twitter, he has said, someone photoshopped this and it got spread widely on WeChat in China. It says, I got shot by the FBI, whom our team work closely with. You can see here the screenshot that he has added. The number 4 in NCZ's tweets is in reference to a list of 4 do's and don'ts in 2023 that he shared at the beginning of the year. Number 4 was to not spread FUD. So He's just pointing that today we see a lot of FUD about Binance and about CZ in the news as of recent. Since the markets collapsed, they seem to have got a lot of bad publicity, and CZ has been trying to get rid of this and saying it's all false and that Binance work very closely with regulators and that Binance and themselves trying to create a better company and help grow the cryptocurrency industry. But the news headlines just get worse and worse and worse about CZ personally and about the Binance company. Let's take a look at the next article here and see what is going on with Binance. So Binance partners with law enforcement agencies to fight crypto scams. The leading crypto exchange Binance has partnered with various law enforcement agencies worldwide to launch its joint anti-scam campaign, which aims to protect users against bad actors and scammers. So the Hong Kong leads anti-scam mission, according to the official announcement on the 3rd of March. The move aligns with the company's underlying mission to ensure the crypto ecosystem security and protect the Binance community. After a successful pilot, the anti-scam campaign, which started in Hong Kong, is finally ready to expand across other geographical regions. Moving forward, we're looking to cooperate with law enforcement agencies in other regions as we continue to promote our anti-scam program. The joint anti-scam campaign complements our existing anti-crime and crime prevention initiatives worldwide. So Binance said it works with the Cybersecurity and Technology Crime Bureau, a unit of the Hong Kong police force focused on combating cybercrimes in the city during the beta phase of the campaign. And they've built a targeted alarm and crime prevention alert message sent to users in Hong Kong after initiating a withdrawal request. In February, Binance attended the Virtual Asset Investigation Course conference hosted by the CFTC to reinforce its efforts to fight against corruption and cyber criminals. So again, we also see Binance working with law enforcement agencies, and we regularly see Binance working with regulators to try and get the exchange regulated in the correct way, try and help the cryptocurrency industry grow, and try and help Binance be the leading platform within the industry. Binance are always fighting to be on the front step, getting within the new industries and helping adoption, helping regulation to try and grow the industry as best as possible. So we see that regularly from Binance. Although they get a lot of stick, they do seem to me like they are a platform that is at the forefront of the cryptocurrency industry, and they intend to be so for the future. So why would they do things that are malicious for their own company? So let's take a look at the next article here and see what's going on. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button. I'm really in holiday mode. My words are stuttering all over the place today. Let's take a look at what's going on over here. SBF faces tighter bail restrictions on Department of Justice and seeks to limit access to technology. So we did see a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, that SBF would be banned from using VPNs. And now we can see that we'll recall first that the disgraced FTX founder was released on a $250 million bail last year after he was arrested in the Bahamas and transferred to the US to answer for crimes arising from the collapse of FTX exchange, which was a $32 billion valued exchange. Shortly after the bail, SBF attempted to contact a potential witness through an encrypted messaging app to influence his testimony. And prosecutors claimed he also used a VPN twice, violating his bail conditions. However, in the new filing submitted, the district judge of the Southern District of New York has prosecutors sought to temporarily restrict his internet privileges and the use of technological devices. So the proposed terms include prohibiting cell phones, tablets, computers, video game platforms, and smart devices with internet capability for chats and communication. In addition to limiting his access to the internet, the Department of Justice said that Sam Bankman-Fried should not use any encrypted or ephemeral call or messaging application with the inclusion of Signal. The proposal also prevents the one-time crypto white knight from using an unauthorized external VPN under his bail condition. And furthermore, SBF will be banned from contacting or communicating with either current or former employees of FTX or its associate Alameda Research, except under the surveillance of legal counsel. However, the former billionaire can contact his immediate family as authorized in the bail terms. Now, very interesting here. Now, it's getting to the point where they're restricting so much where they may as well just say, we'll just hold you in prison, that they're continuing to let him have his bail, and just putting these new restrictions on him. Hopefully he follows by these, but we have just heard, as we've discussed in previous live streams, that he's tried to discuss testimonies With witnesses to his crimes, he's been charged with 6 different crimes, I believe, with conspiracy of wire fraud, 6 different things going on. We don't have a court date just yet. It was meant to be at the start of October. I believe it has been pushed back now. I can't recall what that was off the top of my head. But things are coming to light, hopefully, within 2023, and we see some positive news. We've also already seen Celsius users receive some of their funds back. And we are seeing Mt. Gox users receive some funds back within coming days, actually, I believe. Hopefully this is all taking place. Usually things like this get pushed back, but hopefully we actually see some action on these things. Before we continue with today's stream, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We talk about this every single day. Let's take a look at the next article. We have BuyBit suspends USD payments via wire transfer, citing outages from processing partners. So BuyBit has temporarily suspended USD deposits and withdrawals through wire transfers, including SWIFT, due to service outages from its processing partner. So BuyBit announced the temporary suspension of USD deposits. We've already said this about 3 times. In addition, BuyBit will suspend withdrawals via wire fraud, including SWIFT, effective midnight on March the 10th. So there's still a couple of days to go before this goes into action. Obviously, we can still withdraw via cryptocurrencies due to the same issue with its endpoint processing partner. Users are therefore urged to make any withdrawals through this method before the deadline. The exchange added that it would update when the situation changes. And they clarified that other payment services are not affected. Deposits and withdrawals of cryptocurrencies remain operational. Users can still purchase cryptocurrencies through their credit cards. And coincidentally, the BuyBit announcement on the suspension of USD payments through wire fraud was made on the same day Silvergate Bank halted the use of its exchange network, CEN. Effective immediately, Silvergate Bank has made a risk-based decision to discontinue the Silvergate exchange network. All other deposit-related services remain operational. Now, there's a lot of fear around Silvergate at the moment. We don't have any headline news about Silvergate today, but a lot of companies have chosen to distance themselves from the bank from risk of their amount of liquidity. Let's take a look at the next article. Today's a long one because we've got the whole weekend to catch up on. We've seen Ethereum drop. We will again talk about that at the end of today's stream. Let's take a look at the news before we take a look at the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum today. I hope the sound is okay, obviously, as I said at the start of today's stream. We do usually have a more professional setup than this. I'm just on my holidays, so we're using a poor mic, but we'll be back to the best setup on Wednesday. Let's take a look and what is happening over here. Babel proposes repaying creditors with revenue from new recovery coin amid $700 million loss. So this is a crypto lender which incurred massive losses in trading last year and has proposed a new restructuring plan centered on a so-called Babel recovery coin, according to Bloomberg. So in the plan, they claimed it would repay debts owed to creditors with revenue generated from the coin minting. The firm asked in a Meritorium of protection filed with the High Court of Singapore, the creditors don't take any further legal action against the firm for 6 months as it seeks approval on the plan. Per the report, the proposed recovery coin will initially be backed by Bitcoin and Ethereum and shall maintain parity with $1 through arbitrage incentives for traders. People with knowledge of the matter revealed the coin would be minted through a new DeFi project called Hope in Hong Kong. So this is actually something that me and Jordan spoke about on a live stream a couple of weeks ago. They are amongst the cryptocurrency firm hit severely last year amid the industry-wide meltdown. However, the company mostly blames its ousted co-founder Wang Li for more than $700 million loss in trading users' customers' funds. Now, we've seen obviously a domino effect of 2022. We saw a huge amount of cryptocurrency companies suffer. This is yet another of those. But this plan of how they can repay users is very, very interesting. This isn't the first time something like this has taken place. That Martini guy did explain this to us a couple of weeks ago here on the stream. But for those that weren't joining on those, they create this cryptocurrency and they can hold its value and they give their users this cryptocurrency. Some may choose to hold it. There will be some selling pressure. People want to get out and have nothing to do with this company anymore. But by having that backing, it allows the company to repay their users in a slightly different way. It's a very interesting way to do so. Let's take a look at the next article now before we move on to the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I always forget to say that. I think we're getting pretty good at it now. We can see here NFTs are the most vibrant part of Cardano, says the founder Charles Hoskinson. So taking a look at this article, Cardano, often dubbed the Ethereum killer, has seen a decent breakthrough in decentralized finance and now non-fungible tokens in a recent podcast with Input-Output president. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson admitted that NFTs are currently the most vibrant part of the blockchain. So he has said, the thing about NFTs in Cardano is it is the most vibrant part of Cardano at the moment. It's the fastest moving. 8 million assets have been issued. I think more than half of the projects are in some way NFT related, and it's just exciting to see the level of durability, resilience, passion, and excitement. And in October 2022, Cardano was ranked the third largest NFT protocol by DappRadar, having crossed $19 million in NFT trading volume. The transactions on the network reached 82,880, a level previously recorded in May 2022. And Cardano execs have discussed plans to improve NFTs. So amid the records, both Cardano founder and Tamara agree there is a huge opportunity for the Cardano NFT ecosystem to grow. The president said NFTs in Cardano are still starting out and could expand even further amid cross-chain interoperability. So they've said, I think it's just getting started though, and we could do things differently than some of these marketplaces and ecosystems. It is also about cross-chain in this isn't working for me. It is also about cross-ecosystem enablement as well. I think there's a huge opportunity there for us. Now, what would be really, really interesting, I think a huge issue with the NFT market is the amount of liquidity within the space. Obviously, you need to match a buyer to a seller, and those buyers and sellers don't come around frequently for many of the different NFT. What am I looking for? What word am I looking for? I don't know. Different NFT collectibles. No, not collections. Collections is the word we're looking for. So creating something that allows us to build that liquidity for different NFT projects could be really, really interesting. How that is done, I don't know. That is for the developers to work out. Let's take a look at the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Anyway, taking a look at these articles, we have Bitcoin tumble 5%. And this is where the flagship cryptocurrency could be headed next. So we've got some analysis from one of the team at Crypto Saving Expert. We'll run through some live analysis now as well, though. Before, though, let's take a look at this one. Ethereum's $1.5 and $1.4 thousand levels are the levels to watch ahead of the Shanghai upgrade. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin and see what is going on. We saw a huge dump in the price of Bitcoin on what day was this? On Friday, early morning on Friday. And since then, we have just traded sideways. Now, we don't usually see a volatile movement over the weekend. I was hoping that we would see something like this because that move was on Friday. We have the CME Gap open on Friday night. So the CME Gap is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Gap. This is a gap that we see on the price asset of Bitcoin when the Chicago Mercantile is closed. And they are only operational Monday to Friday. So on Friday night at 11 p.m. UTC, 10 p.m. UTC until 11 p.m. UTC on the Sunday, we have that gap in the market. And we can actually take a look at that by going to BTC1 ! On TradingView. If you want to take a look at this for yourself, you can see here that we created this gap on Friday night at 10 p.m. We closed the market at 22,240. So the highest point of this candle was 22,315. Let me make this a lot bigger for you so you can see this a lot clearer. And then you can see we opened this again. The CME opened again at UTC time, 11 p.m. on Sunday, so last night, at 22,455. So this is the price change that we've seen over the weekend for Bitcoin. Now, this gap acts like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. We have actually seen this close. We've traded within this price range since that gap was created. So we did see that quick move to the downside to fill that gap. And now we have rebounded to that upside. And that is exactly what I expected to see. And it's a good thing for the cryptocurrency price, the Bitcoin price. If we saw Bitcoin surge over the weekend, we would have created another CME gap below us, and that would have again caused fear within the markets. Right now, we have a CME gap up at $28,800. We also have a CME gap down at $20,000 as well, both acting like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. But Bitcoin takes the path of most pain. We want to see what the fear and greed index is of for today, and we can make some analysis from this. The fear and greed index is actually a really good trading tool to use. It's currently sat at 48, so we are pretty neutral, slightly in the greed section, but pretty neutral. We are currently in a dip for Bitcoin. If we take a look at this, we do have some levels of support and resistance, but this is on the shorter time frames because we really haven't seen much movement. I bet if we take a look at the price, I mean, we can draw a level of support clearly here from these bodies of these candles over here, and then we've whipped that nicely today. Hopefully we continue to hold this. This is sat at $22,270. As I said, we have, if we take a look at some indicators, they're going to be neutral. We haven't seen enough price movement to create some bullish or bearish momentum or oversold or overbought signals on the RSI chart. We've not seen much movement over the weekend at all. In fact, since 2 a.m. on Friday UTC time, that price movement, that we've just been basically trading straight across. So we're not going to have any indication on those shorter term indicators. If we take a look on the daily chart, we may see more of a signal. We can see here the MACD is showing that we have declining bearish momentum. And on the RSI, we are slightly oversold, but not massively, more neutral. So that is what we are looking at. You can see here, though, that we are on the bigger time frames. If we take a look at the daily chart and we take a level of support from these points, it's from the wicks that I've drawn this from previously. If we take these points across here, we still are holding this level of support on the bigger time frame, and this is currently sat at $22,100. So that is what we are looking for the price of Bitcoin on those bigger time frames as well. We are approaching that level of support, so it is decision time for Bitcoin. Hopefully we manage to hold this support. If we don't, we are going to be looking at some lower levels of support. We could be looking at the $21,330 level and the $20,400 level, but fingers crossed we hold that support and we see a nice move to the upside. I do have to say the general sentiment within the markets do seem to be a little bit bearish and that we are moving to the downside, which is making me feel a little bit bullish. I like to be fearful when everyone else is greedy and greedy when everyone else is fearful. Right now, people are calling for those lower prices. We've seen that big move to the downside. Maybe potentially people have opened a lot of short positions. And in that case, Bitcoin takes the path of most pain, like I said. So we could be nicely moving to the upside, fingers crossed. But you never know in the world of cryptocurrency. It's incredibly volatile. So we'll just have to wait and see if we can hold that level of support. I've just noticed my screen has been behind that banner at the bottom of the screen for the entire stream. So apologies about that. We will be back to the normal setup on Wednesday, and I have to say I can't wait to be back with a nice microphone and a proper camera as well. But until then, thank you very much for watching. We will be back with one last stream from the holiday destination tomorrow at 11 a.m. talking about the latest cryptocurrency news. So I hope to see you there. If you do want to get notified about that, make sure to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news, and go over to our Twitter at CryptoSavingX even, and make sure to follow us on there. I always put a tweet out just before we go live so that you don't miss it. And I will see you back here tomorrow.